Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Spaghetto 65, the Tier 10 Italian auto-reloading medium tank. This is an amazing vehicle. I've always really liked the Progetto for its incredible levels of DPM for an auto-reloader and the super troll armor that it carries. And finally, Wargaming has given it PBR graphics. I've been begging for years for this tank to get a graphics rework just because of how dang ugly the legendary camo used to be. Now, the camo got a bit better. I mean, there's still some pixelation here and there, but it definitely looks a whole lot better than it used to. I think that this camo, Endless Space, looks absolutely sick on the Progetto. This is part of the Luxury Lounge event right now. So I put it on this tank. I really, really like the camo. Today's video, we are just going to be playing in the Prog, talking a bit about the tank and having some fun while admiring its new PBR graphics. Now, when it comes to if you should grind this line, well, it's a really, really good tank. I mean, I would rate the Progetto a solid 8 out of 10. The only reasons it doesn't get the final 2 points is the fact that, well, it doesn't have a lot of accuracy. That's really the only problem. And the other one is the shell velocity. It's mediocre when it comes to actually hitting your shots, but it has a lot of shots to shoot, so you only need to hit 1 or 2 and you're at least getting some decent damage out. So we got the Sheridan. I kind of expected that Sheridan to spot me. I wasn't fully in that bush before that player was able to get into cover. So a bit unfortunate for me, just like that lag there. But we're all good. We're just going to chill here for now, and we'll see what the enemy ends up doing. So we got that Leopard over here. Also got a Boss Chateau 25 ton who's playing weirdly aggressive over here. Alright, well, that's okay. Well then, that was not a great shot for me. The problem is trying to hit this guy in the hatch from the angle I'm currently sitting at, which is not the easiest thing to do. But we were able to get out the shells, and goodbye, Bat Chat. Not really sure what that guy's thought process was. Maybe he thought he was going to be able to kill that Sheridan or something, but oh boy, that guy got pretty quickly deleted. With that, this is a weird game, because we can see that, like, the enemy 183 is off to the side over here. I can just barely make out his tank. We got the Sheridan off to the side. We also got the Mouse over here, who I would love to be able to get some shells into. Unfortunately, that was not one of them. Alright, well, we can aim it on this Mouse a little bit more. I'm going to wait for my third shell again. Doesn't really hurt anyway. The problem is, this fire effect is right in front of the armor on this Mouse, and it's very hard to make out where the actual weak spot is to aim at, but we're getting them in. There you go. 3 shells into the Mouse right there. That's about 900 buckaroos of damage. Plus the Mouse misses me, which means I can just back up and get a free shell into the Yag. There you go. Nice 395 tap. So already with that, we've done a pretty decent chunk. We're up to like 1700 damage. And this is where the Progetto is actually very, very solid, is using this tank as a single shot. A lot of people don't realize, but as a single shot, the Prog still has pretty good DPM, enough to easily get shells into a vehicle like that Mouse at about 2,800 effective. And I mean, this is where auto reloaders are great. At mid to close range distance, I can just chill here, I can pepper that Mouse. And now, while I'm not poking this Mouse, I can just wait for my clip to reload and get an additional 3 shells back in my barrel. It's just a really overall nice way to use a vehicle like this and do pretty solid overall. So we got that Yag off to the side. There's 1 shell into the Yag and 2 shells into the Yag. And there you go. I mean, just there alone, we were able to take an additional like 700-ish hit points off of that player. And because the Mouse missed me, I'm just going to back up and get 1 shell into the rear of the 57 Heavy. And I was going to go for the second, but unfortunately I'm not able to. But that's all fine. We still got the Yag over here, and because that Yag shot, I'm just going to load in a heat shell once into that Mouse and twice into that Mouse. There you go. And now I'm just going to bail, which is pretty easy to do. I see that I have no more support over here, so I'm just going to drive on this way. Now, the only problem is I can't really shoot heat shells anymore, as I'm basically out of heat. So that is a bit of an unfortunate problem for me. We are up on base cap, which is good, and the enemy 183 appears to not be super healthy anymore. There's the Mouse. I am going to load in my final heat shell for that. There you go. I had to kind of do it. Even though I had 3 shells in the barrel, it was much more beneficial for me to just load in that heat shell, because I can always reload my clip as I'm doing right here. So, yeah, I'm happy that I dumped that. Now we're going to get behind these guys, and let's see if we can get some more damage out. There's the 57 Heavy, and there's, okay, well, game just kind of screwed me there, but good news is we were able to reload our next shell, and We just got to reload in 2 more, and we should be all good. Now, I am obviously, oh, well, I was going to say a little worried about this 57 clipping me, but not if he misses the 1 shell. Then I'm not nearly as worried. So he pens 2 shells onto me, but I've just got to worry more about the Yag at this point. So let's get around the 57 heavy, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on going because we have enough mobility to get behind the Yag. So I'm probably going to be... Oh, the mouse died. That is beautiful. Well, there you go. Looks like my my AFK mouse came back and killed the enemy mouse. Now, to be fair, that mouse wouldn't have killed me. I still would have been able to get behind that Yag, but it's still pretty funny that ended up happening. So, this first battle in the Prog, I was able to deal 6,000 damage. Not only that, but this was probably the best showcase of just what the Progetto is capable of doing. The tank has so much mobility, it's got a great gun, and as I said, it might not have the best DPM, but for an auto-reloader, it has pretty damn good DPM. Enough to very easily, as you saw in this battle, deal with my opponents. So this was a great game to do everything when it comes to a showcase on the Progetto. And it really is just such a downright amazing vehicle. Now, I don't think that this second game is going to become nearly as good as that first battle, but it'll still probably be an okay game. It's very hard for me to do bad in the Prog, because even if you get YOLO'd, you still usually have 3 shells in your barrel. So, it's a very hard tank to push. I like to call this an unpushable tank. And it's something that I always call that just because of the fact that if you run 3 shells in this vehicle, and you always make sure that you've got enough distance between your opponent to where you'll always have 2 or 3 loaded, it means that, let's say a TVP decides to rush you. Well, the TVP might take off about 60% of my health, but I can take off about half his health in a clip, and then I can keep shooting that TVP and kill it, where the TVP can't do that to me. So that's really where the Prog shines. But it is a tricky tank to play. You can't just roll out in the Progetto and do well. You need to understand how to play it. It's a methodical tank. You got to know how to do it. But this game, we have a TVP up against us, and that looks to be about it for medium side. So I'm not too worried, and with my Vickers Light playing a bit more aggressive than me, I'm fine with that, because as long as he knows what he's doing, that's good. So Vickers gets 1 shell into the Yag, and now I'm going to get to the side of this Yag. Unfortunately, that first shell did end up missing, but oh well. That is kind of expected with the Prog. Its on-movement dispersion is pretty poor. Ooh boy, that one missed too. Come on. I'm going to get this pen. Yeah, there you go. We got 1 pen into the Yag. I'll take it. A pen is a pen at the end of the day. We also got the 263 in the back. There you go. Another easy shell into that 263. And this is, again, a great example of where being an auto-reloader is nice, because I can shoot at this Yag. He's going to turn off towards sides here, and there you go. Another nice shell into the Yag. But you'll notice I can shoot this Yag all I want, and I'm not really losing much DPM while I'm doing this. I still have plenty. So this is where I really do like the Progetto. And then while I'm making my way into the front line, I have the ability to reload my clip. So there's the TVP, and there's 1 shell into him. And if he wants to poke me again, we'll get a 2nd shell into that TVP. And sure, oh boy, I don't want to, trying to think of how I want to engage this situation, though. Well, I'd much rather back up at this point, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I just don't want to deal with a yo right now. I thought that TVP was reloading his clip, but it's fine. He only took 100 off. That yo really put a stunt in what I wanted to do. But the good news is I got a Yag right here. So if this yo decides to really do anything, he's going to be absolutely bedoinkered by the Yag. So let's get 1 shell into the yo, and then let's get a shell into the... Interesting. I was going to say into the E100, but guess the game didn't want me to. But that's all good, because we still had our 3rd shell, and we managed to dump it into the E100. We're up to 2,400 damage already. And once again, look at this. I've already got 1 shell loaded, almost on my 2nd. Ow! That hurt a lot. Ow. What a... Why do they have a full health 60? Was he AFK? I'm so confused. Oh, well. That was just a lot of health I unfortunately lost that I really couldn't do anything about. Well, trying to think of how I want to engage here. If we had 1,200 health, this would have been a lot better than what I'm currently sitting at. But still going to try my best. So we know that they were at base C. There's the Badger. Long live the Badger. Okay, that's good. They got the 263 left off to the side, and it looks like that 263 is playing mighty aggressive towards me over here. So I'm going to push over towards this way. Let's see if I can get to the side of this player. I'm going to chill right in this bush, and there you go. There's the enemy 263. There's one shell. Unfortunately, he was able to hit me, but we got a second shell into his tank, and at least we were able to bring him down a fairly decent chunk. Now, it looks like that 60 TP is trying to go for me, which obviously I'm not a huge fan of, but he's dead. Nice. Okay, so the 263 is gone. That was definitely one of the bigger threats. The TVP, also a big threat for me, but TVP is a 2-shot, which is actually good news. Oh, and the TVP's dead. Perfect. Okay, well, there you have it. Okay. Apparently, bushes just don't work in this game. That actually really kind of frustrated me. That should not have happened. I don't even understand that. The way bushes work in this game is if you drive behind them, you don't get to... Oh, my God, yeah. Well, the good news is... I'm not sure if that's good news. I mean, the chances of us losing this are very slim. I would say. Like, this 183 literally just has to hit the guy with a hash, and we win. So, oh, that helps a lot more. Yes. Please don't hit him in the gun barrel. Please don't hit him in the gun barrel. Yay! Yay! I'm always worried when I see a 183 player, they're just going to dunk a hash right into the guy's gun barrel. But we did win. But what I was going to say earlier is that made no sense. The way bushes are supposed to work in this game is if you cannot see your opponent through that bush, you will not be spotted when you shoot. That is how all bushes are supposed to work. But Wargaming, for some reason, makes some bushes not work and others work. It makes zero sense. I'm not too mad because we still did fine in this battle. We did 3,661 damage, but we definitely could have done a lot more, maybe upwards of 4,500 if we hadn't have gotten in that weird scenario there. Either way, the Progetto, as you can see from both of these games, is a really solid tank. It has the ability to just absolutely farm. It has the ability to play aggressive. It has always been one of my favorite tier 10s because of the capabilities it carries. A lot of people always try to slander it, but at the end of the day, two pretty solid games here. So, I don't know, man. It's a pretty good take. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.